Hello. This video I'm doing now is really into a response that I received when I put in a poorly choice words in Twitter about that the Second Lieutenant Nazario should have been counseled by wearing a uniform. I want to make sure I put this in context. First, for me to put it in context, I want you to see this. Okay, I am Second Lieutenant Nazario. Okay, it's not somebody coming who's from out where don't understand what's going on. I've been there, done that. Okay. Been there, done that. That's me. The point I'm trying to make is that what Lieutenant Nazario has gone through, I've already been through myself. And anybody who's African American, both male and officer or enlisted, have been through it itself. And the comment I've made, because I want to keep things in context, right? I want to keep it in context and have a bigger, broader conversation than just race. But to do that, first I want to sit there and get a real quick caught up on why we're even having this conversation.
Traffic stop at BP.
Every year.
Going back.
Felony traffic stop.
Put your hands out the window. Felony traffic stop, 1836.
Put your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle over. Put your hands out the window.
How many occupants?
All units 1013.
How many occupants are in the vehicle?
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Open the door slowly and step out. Open the door.
I'm not getting out the vehicle. What's going on?
Get out the car. Open the door slowly and get out.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
Open the door and get out the car.
Hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
Get out of the car.
What's
now!
going on?
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I don't know, babe.
That's
Get
not-
out of the car!
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
You see that I tell you, I had so many emotions watching this. I first of all saw myself being just like Lieutenant Nazario, and I was even more outraged when the officer Gutierrez said, "I'm a veteran myself. Now get out the car and obey." And see, that's the bigger picture than this being a race thing, because the bigger picture of how the police see things versus the rest of the world. And the reason why I put that quote on Twitter about having the council Second Lieutenant Nazario when it comes to wearing his weapon and wearing his uniform, as you were, it wasn't that to say that he was doing something wrong, because counseling has lots of meaning in the military. It's a training opportunity. It's trying to prepare for future stuff and that kind of stuff. It's not just a negative, you're wrong, why you wearing uniform? Duh. Heck, that's not what counseling is all about. For some people who've been in the military, I'm apologize, that's your experience, but that's not what it's for. I had learned as I was enlisted. Okay, now I'm gonna give you some background on me. I served 24 years in the Army. 8 years enlisted, went up to Sergeant E6, and I went also 16 commission up to 04 as an African American male. Okay, so I clearly understand what's going on. And my dad served in 20 years also in the Vietnam era. So it's not like, hey, I don't understand what's going on with Nazario, but I've seen a bigger picture. The bigger picture is this: when you wear the uniform, in this case here, I really believe the uniform saved Lieutenant Nazario's life. I really do. Because even with him having a uniform on and Gutierrez saying I'm a veteran too, he still got pepper spray. All right, think about that. Even with all of this going on, he still got pepper spray. And imagine if he didn't have a uniform on, what would have happened with him if he even tried to exercise his rights as a citizen. And so I'm still upset about that, but at the same time, I'm glad that Nazario, it went his own went as far as that, because we could have lost a soldier's life, a young lieutenant's life. But with the military, when you have a uniform on, it could protect you, it could be a hindrance. Right? It could protect you, it could be a hindrance. In this case, I believe it protects Lieutenant Nazario's life. And if it hindrance is that sometimes when you're out there in situations and you wear a uniform, you have actually restrictions of what you can and cannot do. You lose a lot of your rights, individual rights, when you have a uniform on. And that's just as important as well, that what cannot do if I have a uniform on, even if I'm traveling back and forth from work to home and that kind of stuff. What cannot do? This it requires a lot of consultation. Now, for me, when I counsel Nazario, I'm coming from a place of empathy, because a lot of officers will not understand why he slowed down, why he went to a little area. They're gonna say, why you slow down? They're gonna say, like that guy said, Gutierrez, just obey. He may find himself out in trouble because people don't understand what he was trying to say, because they don't walk in his shoes, right? They don't understand, why did you go to a littered area, and why did you sit there and say I'm afraid, and why did you go there where you have videotape watching? But for an African American male, you know exactly why. He's gonna have to explain that as he goes up the chain, because there's some people in his chain of command just not gonna understand. And so he needs to understand all the ramifications on that. This is me talking to him. I'm advising him. I shouldn't use the word counsel. I would be advising him, hey man, this is what the possibility gonna happen, and we gotta have his back. Any of the African Americans or anybody out there really gonna understand, doesn't be African American, has to have Lieutenant Nasario's back, because I can see this coming at him. Like I can see this coming at him. They're gonna say, why are you wearing a uniform? Why'd you make look at a stink red, Lieutenant Nasario? That's what's gonna happen to him. This is what we all experience. A lot of us experience in the military, that we are somehow the fault, and he has to have the answer for that, right? You got to come back at them and say, this is why I wear my uniform. And yes, I understand that there's a ramification when I wear a uniform, but in this case, the uniform saved my life. All right. I would have said before this video, and if I was having my troops underneath me and servants under me, I would have said, look, I know this is not a race thing, but I got to be real to the African American males that are out there, and for Nasario, because he's also black, a black skinned and Hispanic. This is what I would tell them. I would have said him before this. I would have said, hey, if you get pulled over and you feel nervous about where you're at, because there's some places out there that do not like us, right? There are places out there in the pockets of America that do not like us, and they'll find any excuse to shoot us. And I would have said before this incident, I would have said, dude, exactly what you did. I would have said, dude, slow down, so you know you're not trying to escape, and find a safe spot, a public safe spot. That's what I would have said. But now, if you look at some of the commentary out there, aside from what I'm saying, you're losing the whole distraction about what I'm saying about his uniform. The police out there and a lot of people out there who not police saying he should have obeyed. He should have obeyed. Okay, so now when you have conflicting guidance, you've now put the soldier life at risk. I mean, you put the soldier's life at risk, because the soldier's going on one hand is going to say, okay, I'm gonna do like Lieutenant Nasario did, and I'm gonna sit there and drive to a safe space and be calm and cool and do this and that. Don't forget, he got sprayed, pepper sprayed. Okay, you may not get as lucky being pepper sprayed, especially if you're not in uniform. The police are gonna say something different, right? They're gonna say, oh no, unless you're a female, you don't do that. You don't sit there and try to find a safe spot. You don't continue to ride. You stop where you're stopping, and now you got a conflict. Our soldiers now are confused on what do I do, right? Do I follow the orders and directions of a police officer who has a gun on me, or do I follow what Lieutenant Nasario said, who said can go to a light? I personally would say do what he did. But I'm not in the military. Okay? I don't have these orders and restrictions like I did when I was in the military. The military's got to step out. Senior leaders got to step out. And they got to start giving guidance and they have to also talk to the police departments and saying, look, we need to have consistent guidance that align so that our soldiers lives are not at risk. Okay, you need to understand that. We have to have leadership talking and saying, I think the guidance should not be stop, obey, because again, the whole different mentality when you got an African American driving a car. I hate making a race, but it's there are a lot of military police forces out there that are black, predominantly black, and they would do the same thing. Their whole thing has always been taught to obey, obey, obey. The difference in this video here is that even when Gutierrez saw he was not a threat, he still kept it up to another level. He still kept it up. He could not bring himself down. He needs some serious counseling, and anybody that properly counseling. If you can't ratchet it down, got it. Understand. It's like us in the military. When somebody comes to the wire, right? Our first thing is halt. Who goes there? We all know that. We know the drill. Halt. Who goes there? Okay, come a little more forward. Halt. Who goes there? Identify yourself. And we give the call. We give the password, right? We all gotta know the password when you go inside, outside the wire. Gotta know the password. Once that person gives the password, everything should ratchet down. Everything should come down to a speakable level. That did not happen with this case here with Gutierrez. He didn't give a damn. He sit there and recognize he's a veteran. He recognized he's an officer. He recognized all that, and he still continued to pepper spray him and then put him on his knee like he's a mission action POW guy in Afghanistan. Don't think it don't piss me off. I don't want to get distracted. I want people to get distracted out there. I made a mistake. I own it. When I wrote the text about Lieutenant Nasario should have been counseled about the uniform, that was absolutely the wrong wording, especially on Twitter when you only got like so many characters you can write. That was wrong. I own it. I still care about my soldiers. I still care about, even though I'm retired, I still care about active duty soldiers, regardless of race you are. But in this case, I empathize with Nasario, and now I'm concerned because what could be moving forward. Because I tell you, the next time this happens, and there's somebody wearing a uniform, and they get shot, this country's gonna go ape crap. Okay, if I saw, I mean, I can't imagine if that guy got shot and he got his uniform on, what in the hell are we safe about? If you got your uniform on and acting like him, and you still got pepper sprayed or you still got shot, then what the heck am I supposed to do? As a veteran, retired, not expired. What am I supposed to do? Leadership needs to step out and tell us what we're supposed to do. As active duty wise, for sure, and for veterans as well, leadership needs to step out. The President of the United States, maybe Secretary of Lloyd Austin. Besides, I applaud Sergeant Major Grinson. He came out like a good NCO and came out and boom, addressed it. Good dude. But it needs to be higher than that, man. It needs to be higher because I can still be wrong if I'm wearing my uniform. All of a sudden now, because I'm wearing a uniform, I can still be wrong even though I'm right. And that we know that anybody served military for any period of time knows you can still be wrong even though you're right. And that was what I meant in that text about him counseling him on his thing. I really should have said, advised him, sat and brought him aside and said, let's look at the future. Let's look what's going to happen now between now and you get a phone call and I'll get, your police will get a phone call. And you know what? You're going to go there and you're going to think they're there to sit there and congratulate you and get you a medal. And instead, you're going to see some people out there saying, why you do that, Lieutenant? It's your fault. You should have, when you wear a uniform. Look, I'm telling you, I've been there. I've done that. Like I said, I'm not sympathizing. I'm empathizing. That lieutenant was me. That lieutenant was me. That's me as a captain, but that was me. And I could say that with passion and understanding, empathy, not bullcrap. Okay. So once again, I apologize for the miscommunication. Maybe I need to hire me a social media manager, and I need to change new words out. But I don't want us to lose the eye of the tiger. This whole conversation really is about the policing and also the consistency between the military rules of engagement and the police rules of engagement, which should be common sense. But that show, it was not common sense. That should be the conversation about what is going on forward. How does the leadership and how do the soldiers and military active duty, how they're supposed to react when they get pulled over, and they have to take in consideration, the leadership has to consideration, there is a different set of rules if you're a minority than not. There is a different set of rules. And if you don't understand that, then our lives are at stake. Once again, thank you, Tony Williams, Veterans Council. For those of you who made comments on my Twitter post, thank you very much. Be it criticism or not, I went enlisted in '86, officer. I'm used to it. I'm good. I like constructive talk. I like good conversation. I'm a big boy. You can put me down if you want to, but don't lose eye of the sparrow, my friend. Until then, guys, talk to you later on. It's Tony Williams, Veterans Council of Veterans. Don't lose this picture. Let's keep the conversation going. And we need to see more people who don't look like me come out and be just as angry as I am. Because my life is dependent on it, right? When this thing goes away, my life is still vulnerable, and it should not be that way. Thanks.